Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin.
He shoots, he scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Happy Saturday out there, guys. You know what time it is. The third episode, Chompin' Puck.
Yes, sir.
This is the esteemed Michael Gentry Jr. I'm Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cups. He hasn't had any yet, but we're working on that, working hard for you. And yes, this is our Woodward Sports hockey show. Mike, we had a lot. We're going to jump right into it. We got a whole bunch of stuff planned for everybody. But first and foremost, because it's about the family and stuff like this, and as everybody knows, if you pay attention to Woodward Sports, we're losing a family member. So swim your way out over here, buddy. I got to give you the right send-off. Everybody give it up if you know it, you love it. Fish Kiwi, heading on to bigger and better things, bud, down the road, but love very much, a big part of our team here. So, Fish, we wish you the best. You always know that we got your back and you got a home here, but good luck.
Thank you.
And don't be giving them too many of our secrets. But are you excited about your new endeavor? Tell people what you got going.
Yeah, I'm doing live sports production throughout Michigan and Ohio. And the goal for 2023 we maybe do some mud hens and walleye games as cameraman or stats. Just behind the scenes camera.
Are you excited?
Yes.
For your next adventure.
I'm excited.
Right,
yes,
we all know D-Mac goes on a lot of adventures, does a lot of things. I'm proud of you, Fish, and we want to wish you the best.
I'm going to miss you, man.
If we could do anything for you here at Chompin' Puck, don't be afraid to ask.
Sounds great.
All right.
Go Wings.
Go Wings. There it
baby.
is. Give it up for Fish Kiwi.
Love you, Fish.
You know him and love him.
Fish.
Thank you, Fish.
Gotta love him. Gotta love him.
All right.
Happy Saturday, everyone.
Attaboy, Fish.
Attaboy.
Staying with it. Gosh, this kid's got kayfabe down. He's got a wrestling future. Anyways, we're right into the show because let me just tell you.
Huge week.
You're going to get, but this episode of Chompin' Puck, you're going to get more of the vibe of what we're all about because we were out and about with the people. You're going to see that the mailbag and memorabilia segment today is live. We had a question and answer. We were out with our fine people at Alta doing an event with them this week, so we're going to tape that. We also, you and I, and on Big D Energy with Terry Foster, happen to talk to Ray Ferraro, ESPN analyst, Ray and Dreg's podcast, also known as Chicken Parm. And Ray Ferraro, as an analyst and former hockey guy, I love hearing what he has to say. He eloquently breaks it down. He breaks it down sort of in layman. So if I want to say that, if I'm talking hockey or in his way, he has such a great way to break it down. So we're going to bring you that interview. But we got to talk here. Trade deadline, everything like that. We waited to obviously do this. And we're recording this part on the Friday morning. So just know that if anything happens before the trade deadline at 3 o'clock, Michael Gentry, Woodward Sports, we will be on it. But here, Chompin' Puck-wise, obviously disappointment. Got absolutely pushed around, run out of town. Your bench got challenged, all that, blah, 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 in Ottawa.
Yep.
Writing was on the wall. Fast forward to this weekend. You got a team that has traded Filip Hronek, got a team that has traded Tyler Bertuzzi, and a team that has traded Jacob Vrana.
And extended Dylan Larkin.
And even most important, my question to you, Michael, out of all those three moves, what was the most important one that was made this week?
It's tough to say which one would be most important, but I really do like the return for the Filip Hronek trade. I thought that was great value in the return. Philip was a restricted free agent going into next year, and his contract was a little big, and you got to love the Tyler Bertuzzi trade. Obviously, you hate losing a guy like that, but to get a return, you get a first rounder that wasn't even possible a month ago with all of his injuries. So I really like all of them. The Vrana trade, I wish we could have got more, but given the situation, D-Mac, we weren't gonna. Yeah, we weren't gonna.
Well, here's the one thing too, right? And let's break it down a little bit more of why. The most important thing this week. I don't know who said it. 8.5, 9 a year. I would have gave him 9. I think he's settled, but that's why Stevie. Steve Eisman, if you haven't seen the picture, Brad Galley from Channel 7 Sports posted it. Steve Eisman drove over to Dylan Larkin's house to sign his contract. So
that's
that cost him $300,000. That cost him $300,000. But no, Dylan Larkin locked up because he's your leader. Everybody knows how I feel about him. Now, two things, if you heard Coach Lalone talk. The Philip Hronek trade, and we see this around the league with restricted free agents, and really the levee broke with the Nashville-Tampa trade where Foote was traded to, or the Nashville-Tampa trade where Nashville traded five picks for Cale Foote and a restricted free agent. So restricted free agents are sort of like the new belle of the ball, so to speak. But you have terms. So Derek Lalonde had said, and I'll get to my point, is the fact that the deal from Vancouver is too good to be true. Which it is. First is second with a possible 11 to 16 pick because you're getting the Islanders pick, so we'll see how it plays out in the wash. But that deal had to be done. That's making your team better. Again, the Tyler Bertuzzi thing, when I hear that Steve Yzerman and Tyler Bertuzzi's agent haven't talked since December, well, you know what? I guess writing's on the wall. And here's the thing. I don't begrudge Tyler Bertuzzi for not getting vaccinated. He's his own man. I love Bert, what he did in this organization, won a cup in the Calder Cup with the Griffins and stuff like that, but he's his own man. Yeah. Right? And the only thing you have in a salary cap area is restricted free agency, or is unrestricted free agency. So he was going to go for the money. He's going to go for the money. So to get a conditional first rounder and a fourth out of a team, man, that is just nuts. And then you want to talk about Jacob Verano, who it was a seventh rounder. Yeah, seventh rounder to St. Louis or what? That's money. So even though Stevie's got all the money, sometimes other people have to pick it up, and that sort of writing was on the wall. What I'd mentioned to you, and you said to me when I walked in today, you said, "Oh, you nailed that one." Just that there was something more to it, as far as I don't think in the bigger scheme of plans, the way that things played out, that we don't know everything behind the scenes, but I could see that exiting, and it's tough because you see a guy that arguably had the most talent on your team, right? But
at least goal scoring ability.
But Michael, what do I always say? And if you haven't caught Big D energy this week, I had a couple good rants.
Yo, you had a few good rants.
But I'm going to do it on our show and just say hashtag why'd you play 1919, and it sucks that I saw my girl Ariana. You know what? She said, will you tell Dad, will you, because she considers me her father, and she's one of my little winglets, and I had to tell her, this is like when you went through puberty. It sucked, but it had to be done, and you're grateful for it on the back end. So we're going through Red Wing puberty right now. This will make us better. It has to, as far as losing in overtime to the Kraken and stuff. We can pretty much see we're not dead out of it, but the writing's on the wall. But let me ask you, Michael, is that the moves that were made, and yes, take your feelings out of it, but is this team not in better shape moving forward come at the end of the trade deadline?
Absolutely. Even moving into next season, you have 27 picks now, 5 in the first round. You have so many options with your cap space along with that draft capital to make a move in the offseason and improve. Obviously, you lock down the guys like Mata, Jake Wallman, Larkin. So you have that core group of guys coming back. You have Lucas Raymond, Mo Sider still blooming, those young guys. So I think they have a lot of options in the offseason. I'm curious to see what they do. And
I said this to my friend Brian Shepard, who's up in Brockville, Ontario, and he played junior up in Traverse City, and he's a huge Wings fan and stuff like this. And I said, you know what it really did? When I talk about Steve Yzerman weaponizes the salary cap and draft capital just collecting, what he's done is he's really put himself in a position to make one of those draft day moves that he's done. So don't expect, guys, us to use all these picks for players, because I don't know if you know this, we got some good guys, the Edvardsons, we got the Caspers, like guys that are coming to play. But what it has done, and Neil Rule, my partner on Big D Energy, you can catch us 11 to 1 on Woodward Sports every day, is that he's always adamant that we're going to go for Austin Matthews in 2 years. He's
Mitchell Marner. That was another.
But what you've done, that's what I said. What you've done is you've put yourself in the Mitch Marner trade sweepstakes, or going out to get one of these restricted free agents that you see is so fun. So
who knows? Larkin was praising Mitchell Marner at the All-Star game. So even though he was so sad about Bertuzzi leaving, these are the moves that have to happen to get you a Mitchell Marner.
Well, it's about the team, right? Yep. Making the team better. And unfortunately, I thought Philip Hronek and Tyler Bertuzzi would be part of the solution, but sadly, what you got in return will be part of the solution. So, guys, we got a Big show for you here. Now, Michael, why don't we do, before I go to break, and take you to a great, fine live interview that I did with our people from Alta. Let's do the giveaway, bud.
Yes.
You've been preaching about the giveaway.
We have the giveaway.
Now, tell the people a little story here, because I'm just going to sit here and flex a little bit.
So funny story. I do the giveaway through Twitter Picker, so it shows who's ever verified, who retweeted, who did everything. And the first winner of our giveaway was that man.
Yes,
he won his own autograph.
I'm committed to you.
He won his
like
own
you're
autograph.
committed to me.
So he might sign it again, double autograph it, send it out. No, all jokes aside, we have 2 winners for you, and we want to thank you guys for retweeting, being involved, and continuously coming back and watching us every Saturday. And our first winner, one of 2, is Liam Jackson. So Liam, I will be DMing you soon.
Liam Jackson,
send me your
look
address,
at your DMs, bro.
We'll get that all figured out and get that sent to
for
you. And our second and last winner is James St. Dennis.
Oh, James St. Denis.
Yes.
St. Denis.
So those are our 2 winners, guys. Yeah. I will be connecting with you on Twitter and whatnot, and we'll get that figured out. And we just thank you again for getting involved with us. But D-Mac,
one more quick thing, Michael, because the rest of the program, we have our interview with Ray Ferraro. We're going to talk about our mailbag, which is live. Which I encourage anybody out there who thinks that maybe we can pop this shop up like we did for Alta and go out and be amongst the people. That's what this show's all about. So encouraging that, we will throw a couple things of the memorabilia. Keep sending your stuff into chompinpuck at gmail.com. But also, too, I want to put it out there. I was talking to Mikey. A lot of people got Red Wings tattoos.
Oh, yes.
A lot of people got Red Wings tattoos. So send in your Red Wings tattoos. We're going to do a whole segment about that.
We set the over-under at what? It was 4.5 for the octopus tattoos that are going to be sent in. The over-under was 4.5.
Oh, dude, it's way over.
It's going to go.
It's way over. I know a whole bunch of signatures that you're going to see because my rule is I don't sign skin unless you give me your story of how you're going to get it tattooed. So I know there's like 7 or 8 out there.
Oh, no way.
But it'll be an interesting way to connect. Anyway, speaking about connection, thanks for joining us. This episode of Chompin' Puck. It's a very important word from our sponsors that we did. So thank you, Chris, and everybody. Take a look at Alta. Chris, welcome. Thank you. Like I said before, thank you all for the support for Alta. In case people out there in the TV land who just are used to hearing me talk about Bog Project and 844 Go to Alta and stuff like that, will you give us like a little backstory just about what Alta and exactly what you do?
Yeah, I mean, Alta is the premier equipment company in the state of Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, throughout the Midwest, everywhere else too, Florida, Northeast. But, we talk about our slogan, Uptime Matters. You've mentioned it a couple times today. Being down costs contractors, landscapers, these guys a whole lot of money. So it really does matter. So the minute that they're down, there's a dollar amount that you can tie to that. So guys are out here to make money. They're out here to fix jobs and be profitable, and they need the right equipment to get that done.
So that's in this situation, and talking to a lot of landscapers out there, a lot of snow removal and stuff like this. The weather comes in, and how different has it been in this sort of the weather where we talk about global warming, whether it's not, we can all agree that the weather pattern's messed up. So we have ice storms and all this too. How important is it where Alta, that's sort of like your security blanket for all these companies, right?
You look at Alta Rents. If your piece of equipment goes down in the field, Alta Rents is right there to supplement that machine for you and get it done. But we don't know what to expect from the weather anymore. We have a storm that was supposed to be a light one yesterday or the other day, and then it comes in and it's worse than the first one that knocked out power for 600,000 people. So it's like you just got to be ready. You got to have that partner in your back pocket that you can lean on anytime stuff hits the fan, and we're that company for a lot of people.
Well, I mentioned it before too, like when I do the read every day, but it just dawns on me like it's the dirty work, right? It's the stuff that people don't want, but at the end of the day, like how many people who are without power wish they had a generator the other day. It's the same thing as doing all the little dirty work. So as Michael and I with Chompin' Puck are interested, I'm interested in the people behind the scenes. I have a saying, don't tell me what, tell me who. So I want to know what brought you to Alta and you know why it is that you, Chris, what is your official title at the company?
I'm the marketing director for Alta in the Midwest.
So how long have you been with Alta?
It's a little over a year.
And
to your point, man, it was a person that brought me here. It's a guy that I worked with that was always highest level of integrity, the kind of person that you want to follow. He got an opportunity with Alta, called me over, and I came and joined the team.
All right, so more importantly now, let's go to your Red Wing fandom or your hockey fandom. Did you grow up a Red Wing fan or a hockey fan? And the question that I ask most guests that I have on here is, and if it was me, that's cool, but you don't have to say me, but who was your favorite player growing up?
Fedorov.
Absolutely. You and Neil
my guy, man.
So my partner, Neil, was it the white skates?
I had the white skates. I bought them, man. I had to get them the second they came out.
So he bought the white skates, Neil. You didn't. Anyways, what are some of the greatest memories? And the beauty when we were talking before, right? So Chris is not quite 40, but when I talk about when I think I go to the Wheelhouse, I go to March 26, 97, which is now going to be coming up on a month, 26 years ago. The fact that you were like 12 years old, right? Your Wheelhouse age. When I was 12 years old, Gibby hit that home run in right field in Tiger Stadium. What are some of the most impressionable things to this day that stay with you about Wings? Two
things, man. One was game related. Stevie Y shot from behind the blue line to beat the Blues in like triple overtime or whatever it was.
You know why that was the second greatest goal in Red Wing history next to my breakaway goal? Because what'd you get at the end of his goal? We lost. Nothing. Lost to Colorado. What'd you get at the end of mine? Anyways, I'm not bitter.
Had to get that off your chest.
No, I did. Listen.
You gotta let it out sometimes.
Everybody out there, yes, I'm putting him behind the 8 ball when he goes down, and no, Stevie doesn't watch this, so I get away with anything.
Well, the best. I was an East Sider growing up, so you gave us a bunch of championships, and we got to go out and cruise Gratiot, have a good time. I'm talking about from 13 up until I was 17, I think was when the whole big streak was going on, when you guys were just winning and winning and winning. So, man, had some good times thanks to you guys.
We were talking earlier about, the kids these days don't know what April in the D is, and or even what a car flag is. Those things are almost extinct. I mean, I hope somebody buried one in those time capsules. But talk about so you said you grew up in the Wheelhouse age, but what it's been like for I guess for you, because there really hasn't been anything to cheer about in the sports scenes. But as a fan of Detroit sports, because I gotta assume you're a Tigers fan and a Pistons fan and a Lions fan, but do you see things turning around?
Big time. It's different teams are at different levels, in their rebuilds and stuff. But the Wings right now, hottest team in the NHL. It's awesome to see. And it's just you get the right people in place. Now you got Stevie in the front office now. Look what he did down and with the Lightning and winning championships for them. So you just got to get the right people in place, and then everything kind of falls in together. You got Troy Weaver with the Pistons, who's just doing everything right, it seems like. Shipping out a guy like Sadiq Bey for James Wiseman, taking a chance there. I mean, that's a huge deal. The Lions seem like they finally got the right guy in place with Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell. I mean, who doesn't love that dude? So, I mean, it's
you mentioned guys in charge, right? So you talk about it, and you mentioned it just like, so to bring it back, it's like I always say that with Woodward Sports and Chad Johnson, and you mentioned it with Alta. What brought you to Alta? It's the people in charge.
Always the people, man.
Don't tell me what, tell me who. And when it comes to equipment, my thing is like when I do the read every day and I look at the crane and think the grind line and stuff, but I'm like, look at these adults, just a bunch of Tonka toys and stuff. Do you have a favorite Alta like equipment thing, or
these ones behind us?
What are they called?
The little Levant machines, the little 735.
I said in my old place, Madison Heights on Hampton, that would have been perfect with the trees and stuff.
It's like a guy like me, we can use them on properties. You can do work around the yard. You don't have to be in the industry to get some value out of it. You know what I mean? It's just a badass machine. You can do everything. Million attachments. I mean, what do you need?
That's it. You know what? Uptime matters when you go down. When you get down, get back up again in life, and definitely in your business. 844, go to Alta. Chris, thank you for your time, brother, and thank you for the relationship that we have here at Woodward Sports.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin.
He shoots. He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
We are joined, it's an honor and a pleasure. A guy who's played over 1,250 games in the NHL, over 400 goals. Bing, bang, boom, mic drop right there. But he's an ESPN hockey analyst and the Ray and Dregs podcast. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Introduction here to Mr. Ray Ferraro. Ray, thanks for joining us today on this great hockey day here in Detroit anyways.
Yeah, how you guys doing? I got to say before we get going, Darren, the Abs thing with you guys in the rivalry was unbelievable to watch.
The unrivaled ESPN, and real quick, Ray, isn't it cool because you lived through those times and the games evolved. We're not going to get on that, but to have both sides of the story, for me, I tell everybody is that I earned a little bit more respect that I had for Patrick Waugh because that was the realest I'd ever seen him. So obviously another great thing that ESPN has done, and I appreciate that. More importantly, trade deadline tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Obviously, here in Detroit, we're excited to get our captain, Dylan Larkin, under contract. But a couple big moves were made by our savvy guy and Steve Yzerman. The Filip Hronek deal, which it seems like restricted free agents being moved are getting a premium return, and then Tyler Bertuzzi this morning. So what does this mean, in your opinion, for the Detroit Red Wings organization moving forward?
Well, I mean, you look at what Steve left behind in Tampa, and then Julien BriseBois has done an amazing job piggybacking on the foundation that they already had, that Steve had left in place there. I kind of look at Steve like in the Wizard of Oz, the guy behind the curtain, that he never does any media. He doesn't really talk about, here's the plan, this is what we're going to do. He just kind of goes about his business, and when it hits, everybody's like, oh, I get it now. And so I really admire that there's no noise around Detroit, and then just things happen. So the two deals that happened to me is that the two games in Ottawa probably cemented what this year was going to look like for Detroit. And that was not a playoff spot, unfortunately close, but strides made. Now you've got these assets they pick up for Hronek, who I happen to think is a really good player. But they get a first and a second. Then they pick up a conditional first in the Bertuzzi deal. So now they've got these premium draft picks. But what do you do with them? Do you draft the players, or do you wait until the off season when other teams are looking around and they're like, okay, we're not as good as we thought we were going to be. We're going to have to offload really good players. Oh, wait a minute. Detroit's got all these picks. So now all of a sudden Steve has the best thing that any manager can have, and that's options. As soon as you're out of options, you're screwed. And Detroit's got all kinds of options going forward.
See, I think he's going to do the latter. He's got all these draft picks. There is a mounting pressure here in Detroit, and I'm sure Steve Yzerman isn't listening to a lot of it, is to give the Wings fans something now. So I think he's going to collect all these draft picks. He's going to look around the league and say, oh, you don't want this dude? We'll take him. Here's my little basket of picks. What do you need?
And so here's where that really makes a lot of sense, is that look at to me, the two premium series in the NHL in the first round, 95% are going to be Tampa, Toronto, and New Jersey and the Rangers. And look at the moves that those teams made, all four of them. And two of those teams are going to be out in the first 12 days of the playoffs. They're gone. So now the pressure to do something for those teams is going to change. Okay, we've already blown out all our future assets to try and win now, and we didn't. So maybe we can replenish our prospect pool by moving somebody we have. Oh, as you say, Detroit's got a bunch of picks. Maybe we can move with Detroit, and Detroit gets somebody that maybe kicks them into that next spot. Because look at Ottawa got Jacob Chikrin. Buffalo's got 20 young players that look like they're about ready to break out. And now there's Detroit. Those three teams are about ready to upset the traditional playoff teams in the Eastern Conference. Those three are ready to be playoff teams next year for sure.
Hi, Ray. This is Michael Gentry, Red Wings beat reporter for the network here. I just wanted to talk a little bit. We got Dylan Larkin's extension, obviously, yesterday. I just wanted to get your thoughts. How do you like the value of it, and how does this contract fare against other top contracts in the league?
Well, I mean, I love Dylan Larkin. I've known him since, peripherally since my son was in Detroit, and he is what you see. He's a terrific kid. He has got a game that is complete. It's not a 90-point game. Do you want to pay him $8 million? Probably not. But if you don't sign him, then what are you going to do? You're going to spend the next X number of years looking for Dylan Larkin, and you already had him. You can ask any manager around the league, and they'll tell. Well, Lou Lamoriello did the same thing with Bo Horvat. And he said the contract's too long and it's for too much money. But that's today's game. Is that if you don't, you can decide, as Anaheim did last year, they didn't want to go past a certain number of years with Hampus Lindholm. So they traded him. Well, man, Hampus Lindholm's a hell of a player.
Yes.
But you had to go to 8 years to keep him. So, Dylan Larkin's not going to say, or he shouldn't say, okay, I'll come back for 4 years. I mean, you only get one kick at the can, right? You get one career, you get one chance to, cement your financial footing, to have the opportunity to possibly play your entire career 100 miles from your home, from the junior program to University of Michigan to Detroit. Like, that makes sense from Dylan's perspective. I know he wanted to stay, and as far as value, you're getting a kind of a 1B centerman. To me, a number one center, there's only a few of them in the league, real number one centers. Most of them are not Connor McDavid. They're not Austin Matthews. They're, how many of those guys are there really? So you have what you have. I think he's an awesome player, and I was happy to see that they were able to come to a deal.
That's it, Ray. Is that I've been preaching all along is I'm going to pay my number two centerman, because that's what Dylan Larkin is on a championship team. He's your Steve Yzerman to what Steve Yzerman was to our team. We still need our Fedorov, right? So but when the way that he's weaponizing the draft capital and the salary cap and everything like that, like you mentioned it, guys, what Ray said is so poignant. Look at the teams we just talked about, the Torontos, the New Yorks, the Bostons, Ray, Terry Foster wants to know, will they ever lose another game? You'll be there Saturday.
Like in history.
Not the goalie scoring, right? Now they got the goalie scoring, but how about, so if I can pivot, they make the move for Bertuzzi today. And that move's possible because Taylor Hall's on LTIR now. So it's amazing. These teams make all these plans, and you get an injury right before the deadline, and it can throw the whole thing on its ear. The other night in Edmonton, I guess, Brad Marchand on his first shift got nicked with a skate right down by his ankle, and he had to go get stitches. Well, 2 days before, Ryan Johansson, kind of the same play, he had one of those skate cuts. He's out for 3 months.
Wow.
So you can build this team you got to get so lucky while you're building this thing. So Boston, I think Boston's I think they're perfectly constructed. I really do. I'm just so impressed with the way they play, with skill and with team and with determination and great goaltending. Now they lose Taylor Hall. They were lucky it was before the deadline. Now they can add Bertuzzi, who doesn't have to be a leader there. He's just got to fit in with the Bruins culture, and that's a really great place for a player to be.
Hey, Ray, real quick, if you don't mind, because Michael Gentry and I do a Saturday called Chompin' Puck Hockey Show, right? And one of the things is that I always thought is that your nickname, Chicken Parm, is so priceless to the whatever. Can you give the Chompin' Puck and Big D Energy listeners a little bit of a history behind? Because I think hockey's got some of the greatest nicknames. Chris Osgood was always the nickname giver back in our day, but can you give people, because I see it in the chat thread a lot when we mentioned you were coming up, I seen a bunch of Chicken Parms, so can you tell the origin of the Chicken Parm nickname?
Yeah, I was just starting at ESPN. I was still playing, and so our show NHL Tonight would go on after the last game, about 11 o'clock Eastern. Usually we had to tape interviews about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, with whoever the player of the moment was. So we'd have to get into our suit, do the interview, and then you take your suit off. You're going to sit in it for 6 hours, so we'd put a T-shirt on. Well, I was eating chicken parm. I was in my suit. There was no real restaurants around there except this takeout Italian place. And you used to get these crappy plastic forks. And so I'm eating chicken parm. I cut off a big slab. I go to eat it. The fork breaks, and it drops in the plate, and it splatters me on my white dress shirt like I got shot. Like there's pasta sauce everywhere. And so now we got to go on the air. And so I tried tucking my jacket over top of it, and John Butchergrass is the host. And, of course, 30 seconds into the show, we're live on the air. He tells the story, he makes me undo my jacket. And after that, I became Chicken Parm. Nobody even knew I played 18 years. I was just a guy that couldn't eat.
Hey, buddy boy, next time you come to Detroit, there's a place 3 blocks from Little Caesars Arena that has a great Chicken Parm sandwich.
Okay, I'm in. I love chicken parm.
Right.
I will leave you with this. Let me leave you with this. I'm in ESPN. I'm playing. So I hear a few chirps from the guys. Oh, hey, are you a player or are you a broadcaster? And Yuri Fisher has me. There's a scramble and scrum around the net, and I'm weaseling around looking for a rebound. And Yuri's got me around the neck, and I'm pinned up against the back of the net. I mean, I'm there until he decides to let me go. And Steve skates by and he goes, "Hey, Ray, why don't you analyze that?"
Speaking of that, Ray, thanks for your time. Have a safe flight. You can catch Ray Ferraro doing the analyst in Boston at the game this weekend. And in the chat thread here, Big D Energy Detroit, want you to bring that mustache back, baby. Big fans of it. Big fans of it.
I should do that. Hey, take care, guys.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me on. Hope you guys are all doing great, and thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah,
we'll catch
good.
up with you soon. Ray Ferraro, ESPN analyst, and the Ray and Dregs podcast. If you like hockey, check it out there. But if you like money, you got to get in to register. Where? Lady Jane's. Get a haircut. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning experience and register for once in a lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. Up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Register. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Lindsay Lights.
Lindsay Lights, where are you from, Lindsay Lights, and what company are you here representing?
Light up your life, holiday lights.
Light up your life, holiday lights. So tell me a little bit about. Obviously, I think that even we're going to break it down slow for Michael here, but I think that we even know that you are in sort of the Christmas light spirit. But it looks like it's safety. Tell us a little bit about what the Christmas lights thing is.
So we have a Christmas light business where we install Christmas lights, but we do this to just put more light into the world.
I love it. Okay, so do you have a question for DMAC? All right, or Michael. Okay, go ahead.
My question is about community. He mentioned that right at the beginning, and I was wondering what kind of traits you've observed as in a strong community, or any advice you have in cultivating your community, keeping everyone strong.
That's such a great question, and what I've known is what I believe in is it's all about the win-win, right? If I'm going to do something with you, right, I have to know how you're benefiting, how you're going to win, or else why would you do it, right? I'll give you a prime example, and a shout out to all my peeps down in Monroe, because they do it right, from Amayos to the Brain Jerk guys to the IWR to the Monroe Pop Fest. What they do is they invest in their communities. So you look around and you see, and this is what I try to do with Darren McCarty brand, with Grind Time, with Woodward Sports and everything, is get everybody to invest in each other and what they do. So you hang up lights, somebody else cuts grass, somebody else does this. At the end of the day, it's not the what, it's the who. And if you surround yourself with the same compassionate people, right? So that's the whole thing, is that as long as you can see, I have a saying in my team, it's as long as you come with pure intentions, then we can get through any argument or any, life that happens. So you got to have compassion, and you got to want to invest, right, in somebody else, right?
Definitely.
So I look for people with the same sort of traits, and unfortunately, life is life, but there are those people out there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Thank you.
I know that feeling when you feel that connection with someone who does have that same heart, compassion, and so I appreciate you telling me how to keep everyone
Just
together.
Power up that light with other light. What's your name?
Alex.
Thank God, or you stole Alex's shirt. I mean, either or, but we got Alex. Who you with,
up,
Alex?
I'm Alex Bush with ATB Construction Services.
ATB Construction Services. So what do you do, sir? Are you one of these guys that's playing little kid Tonka trucks with the big equipment out there? Do you get to play with the big trucks and all those diggers and stuff?
Yep, we got a skidster, dump trailer, all that stuff.
What's your favorite to operate?
Probably the skidster, because I'm the best on that.
Ah, look at the shine. No wonder you're here, Alex. All right, first question.
Alrighty.
Your favorite Red Wing growing up?
Steve Yzerman.
Steve Yzerman, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with the 1-9er.
1-9.
What do you think about the team that we have right now? Do you think that we are going to make the playoffs, or do you think that you're happy with that we've progressed and you trust in Stevie?
I think if they're the Red Wings, they'll always find a way to make their way to the playoffs. I was disappointed that one year that we went for 25 years and then it stopped.
Yeah.
But I haven't been watching the new guys.
Although I got 25 on me, so I'm not too mad about
That's
it.
my question.
All right, what's your... Okay, now, Alex.
Yes, sir.
You skid, it's called a skid?
Skidster.
The skidster.
Yes, sir.
My man Alex the skidster. Best skidster operator this side of Tallahassee River. Where that is in Florida. Anyways, what's your question, sir?
Man. So your number, 25.
Yes.
How did you pick it?
Great question.
What's the reasoning?
Phenomenal question.
Everything's a big, I picked 19 because I loved Yzerman the whole time. So that was
I wore
my
19
number.
in junior. I wore 19 in Adirondack. I don't know why they didn't give me 19 when I got here. That was a big thing. The freaking guy that didn't get it. So how it worked, right?
What's the 254, brother?
No, I'll tell you how it worked.
Yeah.
Okay? The numbers available were 14, 18, 25, and 27. Okay. Now, how the picking order of having first choice went was tenure with AHL games or NHL. I got second pick because a gentleman that I played the minors with named Micah Avazov had first pick. Micah Avazov chose number 27. I don't like even numbers. I chose 25. Not because of any affinity to it. I was still pissed at Stevie for not giving me 19. But it is well documented that if I had first choice, I would have been number 27. So
Nice.
the lure is because I sort of fell into it. What does that say? Some things that in life that you don't wish for, you just put your head down, keep your intentions pure, and they work out.
Yes, just
so
keep
there you
grinding.
go. And to this day, I got 25
Awesome.
tattooed on my wrist. So that was a great question, brother.
Awesome. Well, you're awesome.
You get out there and do that skidster,
Yes,
bro, and
sir.
I
I'll get
appreciate
back
you,
at
what
it.
you're doing.
Yep.
Be safe out there, and I'm glad you didn't steal Alex's
All
coat,
right.
but that's cool. I got to get one with D-Mac on it.
Yes, sir. I'll get McCarty on there.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll rock it, baby.
Yeah.
I'll rock it. Thank you.
I'll make you one.
All right.
I'll send it.
I appreciate it. There we go. You know me, merch whore. Seamus, where are you from?
From Fraser.
You're from Fraser, and who do you
Yes.
work with?
Organic Matters.
Oh, Organic Matters.
Yep.
That's the cousin of Organic Solutions. You're a landscaper too and stuff like this. You grew up a Red Wing fan?
Yes. My whole life I've been a Red Wing fan.
So let me ask you first, who was your favorite player growing up?
Pavel Datsyuk, the Magic Man.
The Magic Man.
Okay.
Pavel
I like it.
Datsyuk, the silkiest mittens on this side of Eddie Kitten for sure. Okay, do you have a question for Chompin' Puck?
Yes. I have either one you could answer. I want to know what either was your favorite moment as a Red Wing, or who was your favorite teammate to play with while you were there.
Well, I can probably answer both.
Okay.
You know, like the easiest one is, and I'll put this in, is winning all the stories with winning the cup. So people ask me, well, which cup is better? And I said it's not. If you have kids, you'll understand that you love your kids the same but differently, because every story of the pregnancy, every story of the sex, of the birth, whatever else is happening in your life is different, but they mean just as much. But everybody, so when you ask, and then I'll break it down to you, and I'll say, well, if you ask D-Mac, right? D-Mac is the superhero, that person that isn't real, right? Where, like, I knew who D-Mac was when he was 6. It took me to 46 to find who Darren McCarty was, right? But D-Mac would say 97. What are you talking about? I grew up across the border, scored that goal. What do you think? First time in 42 years. What are you, nuts? Right? But then Darren would say, listen, you know, what we did together, and I say this to all the fans out there, what we did together after losing Vladdy, because remember, 97, after getting over the hill after sliding down and falling and people not knowing if we'd ever get there, to finally winning and celebrating, and then 3 days later being the legs chopped out from under you, because we all, as a fan base and as a team and as everyone, lost Vladdy. So to be able to come back with the believe here and just prove that there are things that, to me, that's like spiritual and things greater than yourself that you can accomplish.
Okay.
That 02 is sort of like, yeah, shove it up their rear ends. I know we have the Hall of Fame team, but the fact that you're supposed to win and we win the President's Trophy doesn't mean you always win. I think the greatest compliment of the 2002 team is the fact Wayne Gretzky, one of the greatest players, if not the greatest of all time, said, somebody asked him one time what it was like playing on the greatest team in hockey history. He said, I don't know, I didn't play in the 2002 Detroit Red Wings. That's some high praise. And then, again, Darren, I will say to anybody out there who's struggling, no matter how many times you fall down, get back up, because you don't know when it's your time. So be able to show the comeback in 08, and something I'm most proud of is winning 4 cups with Chris Draper, Kirk Maltby, Nick Lidstrom, and Thomas Holmstrom, and to be able to have 4 cups to come back and do that. And the way my story plays out, right, dude, is because you're supposed to have that comeback and then you're supposed to ride off to the sunset. For me, no, I rode off the cliff, but I'm here now. So favorite player to play with, and it's Drapes doesn't count because it's too. That's like,
like a
two
brother.
sibling, but it's Ozzy. And Ozzy used to, Ozzy, Maltz, Drapes, and I were as thick as thieves. Marty the Point I'd throw in there too, but Ozzy was the biggest, biggest jokester to this day. What I love seeing him on TV is because you see his personality and the way he messes with Keating. That's the way he is. So.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, so Ozzy will always have a special place in my heart.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for
Thanks,
answering my
Seamus,
question.
for coming out. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? More importantly, come here. What's your favorite, like, Alta equipment or like stuff that you get to play with out in the landscape? What's the most fun part of the job?
My favorite equipment I use is the Avant. I use that for snow removal.
That one right there, it's the real deal. I heard everybody talk about it.
It's the real deal. We have the cab at our company, and I use it for sidewalk snow removal.
Yeah.
Warm throughout the whole night. Is heated seats. Has the plow on it with salter on the back.
We need
one. I need one of those. Dude,
he got me at heated
it's
seats.
a dream.
I'd be out there plowing. I'd be out there. Maybe I'll have to come over to the facility just to make sure that everything's copacetic when it gets nice. But hey, Seamus, thank you. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you. Charles is up. Charles, where you from?
From Detroit.
You know that one. And what company you with?
Organic Matters.
And what is Organic Matters?
We're a landscaping company.
You are?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
So, you've been, I'm assuming that you're a Wings fan. You grew up as a Wings fan and stuff like that?
Of course.
Absolutely. Do you remember, are you old enough to remember the 97 championship?
Yeah.
Yeah? And stuff like that. So, do you have a question for Chompin Puck?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite fight that you ever had?
That's a good question, and since the answer would be the second Lemieux fight off the draw when I was the one that said everything that you're not supposed to say and would have got canceled and put it this it wasn't very nice in English and in French. So that one because Claude hit me and then we fought. He
turtled, right?
No, that was the first one. This is the second one where we actually fought. Would be my favorite. And then I smacked Matthew Barnaby in Colorado one night. And anytime you can get a hold of the rats and make them feel it, then you feel like you're doing your job. So
that's awesome.
I always tell a story that the toughest guy I ever fought was Joey Kosher when he was with the Rangers, and my rookie year. And the only thing more powerful than Thor's right hand, or Thor's hammer, is Joe Kosher's right hand. We squared off. He hit me with a punch. He broke a piece of my helmet off. We ended up in a headlock. We hit our heads on the ice. He says to me, "All right, kid?" And I said, "Thanks for not killing me, Mr. Kosher." Right on, Charles.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Wings now?
I love them.
You think Steve's gonna re-sign Larkin? You think we're on the up and up?
I think you should.
I
like what we're doing after the All-Star break. I like that Larkin's performing very well.
Absolutely.
Who's your favorite current Red Wing?
There's a question. Besides me, who is your favorite Red Wing growing up?
Growing up, I think Yzerman was my favorite Red Wing
You're a kiss
going
ass
up.
Too. No, I know. He was mine. He was mine. I've been watching him since he was 11. Since I was 11, I've been watching him. So don't tell him that, though. But he was mine.
I won't.
Please don't. But thanks for coming on, bud. Good luck, Organic Solutions. Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice to meet you,
Landscaping. Another landscaper. Love it. Thank you to everybody here for your support of Woodward Sports and Chompin Puck.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.